Let's take a look at Monday. It's a busy day. There are 10 games on. We're going to preview all of them. Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy, your daily NBA fantasy podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd, also known as Tom Ace. I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. Thank you also for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free. We're available on all platforms, and we are part of the number one sports podcast network, the Locked On Podcast Network. You've pushed us there. You've done it. You've made it the number one. Now you can make me the 100K man. Yeah, give me 100K subs on YouTube. It will be sick. It will be lovely. I would appreciate it. And again, that play button's going up right behind me when we get it. We're talking Monday in the NBA, which is the beginning of Thanksgiving week, where, of course, we've got a 0-game Thursday. I would encourage all of you to take a look at your rosters to check that you can stream on Monday. I'm fairly certain the vast majority of you will have no start-sit decisions to make, and you probably have an ability to add somebody into stream. So we will, using that logic, we will get in and start to talk about these games. We'll talk streams of the day. We'll talk about ways of hacking into the schedule to benefit us as we move forward. The 10 games on, we don't have any weird early starts. We don't have any crazy late finishes. It's a relatively, and by relatively, I mean like actually bang on standard day. Pistons, Pacers, Cavs, Raptors. Raptors favored by 1.5. Okay, it's interesting. It is a back-to-back for both teams. That's interesting. Knicks, Nets, Mavericks, Heat, Blazers, Bucks, Nuggets, Grizzlies, Bulls, Pelicans, Rockets, Suns, no Kevin Durant revenge, scared of Phoenix. Jazz, Warriors, Wolves, and Kings is your final game of the day. Let's go through these games in a little bit of extra detail. The Pistons and the Pacers is the first game up. We know that we're going to have no Dildo John Furphy. Cam Jones, Quentin Jackson remains out. Detroit got basically everybody back now, so we don't have too much to worry about there, apart from how Jamie Bickerstaff is going to run this 12-man rotation that he claims he's going to run, and that is going to be what we watch. We saw Dennis Jenkins drop to 15 minutes. We saw Jaden Ivey play 15. We saw Toby Harris barely play. So despite that rotation we saw, there's still plenty of stuff that's going to change because Ivey's not going to stay at 15 and Harris isn't going to stay at 22. So we've got a lot of decisions or a lot of things to actually look at. It's also worth watching that Jalen Duren, passport legend, hasn't played 30 minutes in the last 3 games since he came back from his couple of game absence. So just, again, we just got to keep an eye on all of this. Cavs Raptors is the next game. This is the second half of back-to-back for both these teams, so there's a lot of stuff that's interesting. We already know Lonzo is out on Sunday. Jarrett Allen is out on Sunday. Darius Garland is in on Sunday, so I don't think Garland plays on Monday. Lonzo almost certainly does, and we've got to check on Allen and Merrill. As for Toronto, Jakob Poeltl is out on Sunday, so he's likely back here. And the other one that is going to be important is Craig Porter Jr., because if Garland is out and Merrill's sidelined again, then Porter might be able to do something. We'll talk about, he's an interesting one. Watch what he does on Sunday. Watch what his status is for Monday, because there could be opportunities opening up there in Cleveland. The next one is New York and Brooklyn. Anunoby remains out, and then they also lost Landry Shamet for what is going to be a sizable absence. We also already know that Cam Thomas is out. By the way, Cam Thomas for next season free agency. He's in real strife. Who is paying this guy anything? Like I don't know where it goes. Honestly, like do not be shocked. You probably won't, but do not be shocked if we end up on a minimum contract. Honestly, like I know that some of you will scoff and laugh at that idea, but man, yeah, it's not good at the moment. The next game that we go to is Dallas and Miami. We've already seen the Heat play on Sunday. Of course, I'll recap all of Sunday's games in the recap show, which comes after the last game today. We don't expect Anthony Davis to be available, but I do expect Tyler Hero to be available for Miami. So I'm currently labeling him questionable, but I expect that he is back. I don't know about Little Chungus, Nikola Jovic, and I don't know about Andrew Wiggins. So there's a lot of celebrations about Kal-El Ware starting next to Bam Adebayo and putting up good numbers. That's true. it is going to be very interesting when Hero, Jovic, and Wiggins all play, if that's even in this game, to see what happens. Very interesting. PJ Washington left the last game, didn't return, but I think he could have. He was back on the bench. D'Angelo Russell also missed the last game, while Derek Lively sat due to a back-to-back, so he should be available. So still lots of confusion around this Mavericks rotation, especially people still confused about Brandon Williams and D'Angelo Russell. The next game we go to is Portland and Milwaukee. Yanni will be out. Shaedon Sharpe is out for Sunday's game. I don't know whether he's going to be available here, while Rob Williams and Don Clingan are both listed questionable for Sunday. Now, I don't expect that Williams plays in both of these games, and whichever game that Williams sits, he plays the other one. As for Clingan, his numbers have been up a lot with Sharpe out. It is also worth noting, though, I think the last time they played that Williams was playing some closing minutes over him. So I won't say that Splitter is fully on board here, but dealing with an ankle sprain here for Clingan, so we just obviously have to watch that. Now, if Clingan and Rob Williams are out, it has to be. I know you want it to be Young Hun-Sen, but he's actually bad, like really bad at the moment. He might be better. I think they go to more Dwop Reith, honestly. But although Young could put up, he could put up some numbers if you give him the opportunity. Not that he's going to be good at it, but the numbers will be a different thing. Denver at Memphis. Demetrius Morant should be sidelined. Aaron Gordon is definitely out, as is Christian Brown. And the question marks are going to be in the front court for Memphis. Jaren Jackson and Jock Landale. Landale left last game with that neck soreness. He doesn't really matter that much at this point, but him being out and Jaren being out means they have to do some funky things with their lineups. Jaren being out means that Santi Aldama is just getting a ton of minutes and a lot of production. So that is important. Julian Strawther being questionable weirdly is important, because if you lose Gordon and you lose Brown, Strawther had an opportunity for 15 minutes, and without him there, you'd maybe look, it's 20 minutes of Spencer Jones, and maybe it's Hunter Tyson having to play, which is not a good thing. But your deeper leagues would want Strawther out there, because this is an opportunity. This is the chance for him to do something. The next game we look at is Chicago and New Orleans. There's just a lot of guys out here. We know that Zach Collins is still out. Isaac Okoro, he has actually now been ruled out, as has Dalen Terry. Carlo Makovic, I don't expect to play for New Orleans, but Patrick Williams is questionable for Chicago. Zion missed the last game, so he should be returning here. And I don't think we're quite there for Jordan Poole. We haven't got an official update on it, but I am labeling Jordan Poole as doubtful. And I expect Carlo Makovic to miss most of this week with a calf strain. But the big question mark is going to be Herb Jones and whether Poole actually plays. I don't think he will. But we do know that Okoro has been ruled out, so Dosunmu gets a bump there in Chicago. As well as Kevin Huerter, who I think Kevin Huerter actually just popped up as ill on the injury report as well. Houston and Phoenix. Grayson Allen is out for Sunday's game, but I don't know about Monday, so I'm putting him questionable. We know that Durant is missing the next two games for the Rockets for personal reasons, so they're in an opportunity there. Now, will they go to an Okogie and Adams starting group? That feels horrendous, but they could. Or do we finally get the cork pulled on Reed Shepherd? Shepherd is shooting the absolute lights out, and it will not stay at 50% shooting. But I will say this. He shot 50% from three in college, a number which was so outlandish at the time that no one does it. So we go, okay, well, he's not going to do that. And now we get into year two, and he's doing it again. I'm not saying that he's a 50% shooter, but it is actually possible that we could see Reed Shepherd as a 44% three-point shooter with high steal rate and high block rate. And he started the second half of the last game. I'm very interested to see what they do with Shepherd in this game with Durant out. Finney Smith remains sidelined, while for Phoenix, Ryan Dunn is questionable, and this is a back-to-back for them. And if Dunn misses, that's way more for Colin Gillespie and Jordan Goodwin to be able to do. The next game, which is the second last game of the day, talking Utah Jazz and the Golden State Warriors. Horford has hurt his hamstring, so he'll be out. John Kuminga is out. D'Anthony Melton is out. And Draymond Green popped up as being questionable. Kuminga should be out for most of this week, to be honest. So yeah, we're not holding on to him. If Draymond is out, that is more for Quinton Post to do. It'll be Trace Jackson Davis also, who gets do a little bit more. Then it's more just distributing of minutes to these wings like your Guy Santos, Al Helpers, your Brandon Pajemskis, Moses Moody's, Willie Dick, although he's sort of out of favor at the moment. The last game, the final game of the day, is the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Sacramento Kings. We know that Sabonis is out. Otherwise, there's nothing that's really sort of up in the air. Keegan Murray is back and he is starting already. Terrence Shannon, I don't expect to play with that foot injury. Not that he is impacting really anything at all at the moment. Anyway, we're going to come back and talk schedule hacks and streaming. Today's episode, though, it is brought to you by Gusto. Gusto is the The all-in-one remote-friendly payroll and HR platform that helps you out, because no one wants to start a business just for the joy in calculating tax withholdings or managing payroll spreadsheets. Gusto comes in to take the stress out of payroll, out of benefits and HR, so you can focus on running your business and supporting your team. Gusto helps you do all of the hiring, all of the onboarding, all of the paying of the employees from the one place without the hassle or the hidden fees. The automated tools like offer letters, onboarding materials, and direct deposits save you hours every week. And knowing that you can get in contact with a certified HR expert anytime gives you real peace of mind. Try Gusto today at gusto.com/LockedOnNBA and get 3 months free when you run your first payroll. That's right, it is 3 months of free payroll at gusto.com/LockedOnNBA. One more time, that is gusto.com/LockedOnNBA. Today's episode is also brought to you by Wayfair. The holidays are creeping up, so much so they're creeping. I can see their faces around the corner, because that means it is time now for you to get ready for the holiday season. Your seats, cushions, pillows, couches, settees, ottomans, not the Empire, the footstool, servingware, knives, forks, sporks, splades. Remember splades? Do you know what a splade is? Wayfair's got it, I'm sure. Wallpaper, linen, towels, big towels, small towels, bath sheets. That's another thing that something is called. But Wayfair has all that stuff, and there's the Black Friday sale. But you don't even have to wait for the Black Friday sale. You don't have to wait for Black Friday. Wayfair's Black Friday deals are happening all month long, up to 70% off everything from sofas to spatulas. Everything gets shipped incredibly fast, and you should get it in time for the holidays, we hope. Browsing is easy to do. You can find all the things you want. Nothing is generic. It's just the quality designs that feel personal to you. Don't miss out on early Black Friday deals. Head to Wayfair.com. Wayfair, I don't know why I said like that. Head to Wayfair.com right now to shop Wayfair's Black Friday sale up to 70% off. It's WAYFAIR.com. Sale ends on December 7th. Or, for those of you who speak English, WAYFAIR.com. Sale ends December 7th. We have a bit of fun, don't we? We have a good time. Let's talk about the schedule. Let's talk about how we can max out games. How do we take advantage of the things that the NBA provides to us? And as we detailed on the preview show, when was it? Yesterday, week 6 preview, is that because of Thanksgiving and the way this week is set up, we are really light on early in the week. Really light on. We've got 7 teams playing a back-to-back from Sunday with the second half on Monday. We have no back-to-back Monday, Tuesday, no back-to-back Tuesday, Wednesday. Nothing. So we can't actually max this stuff out. So the only way to actually max out your games played is single day streaming Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then hitting a weekend back-to-back. That's the only way to do it. We watch these teams. They have the back-to-back. Nets, Cavs. We talked about the Cavs already and the Garland, Lonzo, Jared Allen stuff. The Heat and the Suns, Bam might rest on the second half. I don't think so. Phoenix, no one to really worry about there. The Blazers, you're watching Rob Williams, obviously, because he could have an important role if Don Klingon's out. The Raptors, you're getting Pirtle back. And then Utah, I don't think we have too many worries. But there is 7 teams heading on to the second night of a back-to-back here. Now, let's get chunky. And you know what we mean when we get chunky? We're looking at the next 5 days. But because there is a 0-game day in there, I'm going to go to the next 6 days, the next 6 calendar days, next 5 game days, and look at which teams and, more importantly, which players available in 70+% of leagues that we can add to get ourselves good numbers of games. So over that 6-day window, 5 game days, there are these 5 players that play 3 quality games, meaning they do not play on the 11-game Friday, which is important because on 11-game Friday, you probably have a full roster, and if you add someone, they'll just sit around doing nothing. Now, some of these guys you might just add anyway, especially one of those names, who you probably would start. But these guys have 3 quality games over the next 5 NBA nights. Punch Bob Portis. Now, he has been bad all season. I'm very convinced that Bobby Portis is washed. Very. But with Giannis out, with a Schedule Plus spot, Portis is, well, he's doing the thing. He's playing better with extra opportunity. So we use him. Moses Moody is not a must-roster player. He's not. But, Kuminga out, Horford out, 3 games, 5 NBA nights. This is the time to stream him, use him, consider him. Jeremiah Fears, I will make a more a more distinct ruling on him, which of course my ruling is law. So whatever I say you must do, that is the rules. And then you can actually come and say, Josh, you told me to do this. That's what we'll do after Thanksgiving. I think we're leaning to him not being a must roster. But for now, again, when you're in doubt of that stuff and you go, what do I do? When you got the advantage of the schedule over others, that's great because you can afford one or two duds in there and it helps. And then we go to the Indiana centers. Good luck. I got no idea. I have no idea. We talked about James Huff earlier on today. We talked about how Huff is blocking a million shots. 2 shots at least blocked in 8 of his last 10 games. He's gone over 20 minutes the last 2 games. He might play 8 in the next one. I don't know. Jackson had a double-double 3 games ago, and now he's doing nothing. But you've got the advantage here. The Pacers, 3 quality games, next 5 game nights. So if you're trying out Huff or Jackson, you can at least stick through this advantage schedule spot to maybe give you something. I don't feel good about it, but it's there. We're not doing 5s and 2s because we already talked about this week who's got 2 games. It's the Wizards and it's the Magic. And this is where I differ quite a bit, I think, from other people that talk fantasy or provide fantasy analysis or fantasy entertainment or fantasy coverage or however you want to phrase it, right? Is that I look at this and I go, the Wizards have 2 games, the Magic have 2 games, right? That's not good. But there'll be others that go, well, it's great. They actually play on Tuesday when there's only 3 games on, so that's important. I don't think it is. I don't think it's that important, honestly, because I believe you can stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I think that you're open all those days. You don't need to prioritize Tuesday. I would rather drop a Wizards player, get someone Monday, cycle back and get another Wizards guy Tuesday or somebody else, and then another guy Wednesday. I'm not that. I don't care. I don't care that there's only 3 on Tuesday because I think the other 2 days around it are streamable. And then their next game is on an 11-game Friday, so completely useless. So you could hold a Wizard guy and play them Tuesday. You could hold a Magic guy and play them Tuesday. But then you've missed the opportunity to stream that spot on Monday. So you've lost, out of the only 5 streamable days we have this week, you've just jettisoned one of them to hold on to Tristan da Silva. And I don't think that's worth it. Personally, I'd rather just boot him out and get a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in. That's me. That's how I like to look at it. Shall we talk streaming? Not quite. We'll get there in a sec. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA is back. There's no better place to get in on the action than with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you miss the start of a game or you want to jump in and ride the hot Derek Queen hand in the last 10 minutes of the fourth quarter, where he puts up most of his numbers, fun numbers, FanDuel has live bets on everything for who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. Now, I referenced Derek Queen there. I'll reference it again. He's going up against your GOAT, Nikola Vucevic, and we have seen a cadre of centers just put beast numbers on Vuce. So, Derek Queen might drop a 30-point triple-double against Vuce. I'm so very serious. Also, shout out to Vuce, by the way, for calling his own team soft in the post-game interview the other day, saying that they don't try, they're not doing the things they need to do, and when all the young guys are jumping, bouncing around, he's going, shut your mouths, we're going to be better. Anyway, this is a FanDuel ad. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets with your first $5 bet wins. So go to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA, and don't forget to Vooch responsibly. We are talking streaming. It's one of my favorite topics, one of my favorite subgenres of fantasy. So let's have a look. What are our streams of the day for Monday with 10 games on? Again, I go and have a look. What does your roster look like? I believe you will be able to stream in a lot of cases, most cases. Some you won't. That's just the vagaries of games. But I think for most of you, you'll be able to. I think a 10-team stream, we go Moses Moody. Now, I don't believe Moses is a must-hold, must-roster guy rest of season, but in this little period of time, sure. Jordy Clarkson, with the absence of the Jedi, OJ Anunoby, and Landry Shamet, Clarkson is going to have to push up. So he's a 12-team stream. 14-team, Lonzo's out on Sunday, so I expect that he plays Monday, and I also expect that Darius Garland does not play on Monday. And then for 16-teamers, there's Josh Okogie, and I don't know, just hold your nose and maybe see what happens. With no Durant, he probably gets to start, but I also don't know. Your 10-team, or it's not 10-team, your Yahoo Points at ESPN point streamer is the same bloke. It's Peyton Watson. I can't believe he's one of the most dropped players on Yahoo. It makes absolutely no sense. Aaron Gordon being out raises his floor significantly. This is just a must-roster player for now. Yeah, maybe he is bad over the next week. I don't really care. When we say must roster, I don't have the foresight to tell you exactly what will happen because literally nobody does. When I say must roster, it is because this opportunity is not one you can ignore. It might not work out. He might come out, get injured the next game. He might come out and shoot 4% over the next 3 games. I've got no idea. But given the floor has been raised and he's got an interesting enough skill set, Peyton Watson, you just have to do it. You have to roster him. There's no ambiguity, I don't think, in the necessity to have Peyton on a roster at this point. But he's sitting there available in a lot of leagues. So go do it. And I know this because I'm getting questions still this morning. Hey, do we add him? Like, yeah, this is real. Like, this is the extra kick in the butt you probably needed to go get him. 10-team streamers. Of course, we're going to start off with Moses Moody and Jordan Clarkson. Isaiah Jackson's there. I hate myself for putting him there, but he does project pretty well, but it's so unreliable. Lonzo Ball's there. And then for those of you looking for big chunky men, Mitchell Robinson. Going to get some rebounds, maybe you get a block, you get some decent field goal percentage. You don't get much else, but he is an option for you. If you had 12 teamers, again, just look at that first 5 names. You might find someone there. Otherwise, you can go to Steve Adams. You can go to Jaeger Dioman, Jalen Sticks Smith, J. James Huff, and Josh Okogie. And we go deeper. Again, these guys are all available in about 90% of leagues. Day'Ron Sharpe, Zaire Williams, Nets Buds, Drew Eubanks, who you shouldn't have much faith in, but in deep leagues, yeah, sure. Ben Shepherd. And this guy has been playing really well in Memphis, backing up Vince Williams, but also playing with Vince Williams. Cam Spencer. There's no other point guards. By the way, I don't know if you saw, but Ty Jerome is out for another 6 to 9 weeks. Do not stash Ty Jerome. A, I don't think he's good enough anyway. B, you're 2 months away at least from him returning. Do not stash Ty Jerome. Cam Spencer, for the short term, he's doing all right. I like what we're getting from him while Morant is sidelined. Yahoo points. Who are we streaming in here? Peyton Watson, Bob Portis, Jeremiah Fears, Daniel Gafford. All those guys are 70% plus available. And Terrence Mann is 90+% available. And I hate it. There is going to be a game where Mann and the opportunity that he has, the 30 minutes, 28 minutes, 5 assists, 10 points, 2 threes, 4 rebounds. Track if that's what he does in the next game, by the way. Is worth considering. Maybe. And for ESPN points, Peyton Watson, we know, is at the top of this list. Yusuf Nurkic still sits at a ridiculously low roster rate. Terrence Mann is there. Moses Moody is there. And Jeremiah Fierce, Sasha's brother, is there, ready to go. And I am also ready to go from this daily look ahead. I'll be back recapping Sunday's NBA action. Lines of the night, recapping how I performed in my leagues this week. Actually have no idea where it's tracking at the moment. I set my roster and I set that, but I actually have no idea where the matchups are heading. It's a nice little surprise when we check it out together. We might even do a check-in in my Roto leagues as well to see where we're at with those. You can sub, you can thumb up, you can double bang, and you can tell me that, guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See yous.